Russia and Qatar will each host the Football World Cup for the first time after winning the FIFA vote in Zurich. Neither of their bids were the most profitable, though. England stood to make FIFA the most money, but only got 2 out of 22 votes. And the World Cup hosts Everton a profit after the massive costs of new infrastructure. Simin Demokan investigates.
2018 FIFA World Cup, ladies and gentlemen, will be organized in Russia.
Cheers from Russia and then Qatar.
Qatar!
The two emerging economies won FIFA's vote. Now they'll stage the world's most watched sporting event.
You will never regret. Let us make history together.
Some regrets, though, for England, one of the favourites to win.
Obviously, I'm extremely disappointed, and so is the team. We had a very strong bid. Sadly, it didn't work out.
For Russia, this is a third global sporting victory. In 2014, they'll host the Winter Olympics and a Formula One Grand Prix. For Qatar, the World Cup will be the first sporting event of its size in the Arab world. As always, for each country, it's a reason to accelerate spending. Brazil is investing almost $11 billion in infrastructure for the 2014 World Cup. Russia will invest $10 billion in stadium construction and refurbishments. And Qatar plans to spend more than $29 billion in stadiums and infrastructure. The question is, how much money does the host country actually make?
All of the benefits that you generate from spending money associated with the event get sucked out again in the form of expenditures that have to go elsewhere in the economy. And so the net effect is usually quite close to zero. When you build stadiums, you give up the opportunity to build something else.
In South Africa, many World Cup stadiums now lay empty. For Russia and Qatar, the challenge will be to build an economic legacy that lasts. Simin Demokan, Bloomberg.
Well, Russia faces a vast challenge, literally, with the country's 16 proposed stadiums spread out over an area comparable in size to Europe. The cost of venues alone could top $10 billion. Add to that the price of improved roads, rail links, airports, and the total bill could be more than double that. The country's prime minister isn't fazed.
Each bid is a challenge, and we are honored to win in this tough and fair fight. You can take my word for it. The 2018 World Cup in Russia will be up to the highest standards.
I'm joined now in the studio by a Russian investment expert who says this victory will unleash one of the largest infrastructure spending projects in the world. So, did the 2018 World Cup increase Russia's GDP and reduce its dependency on natural resources? Renaissance Asset Manager's Chief Investment Officer Plamen Monovski is here to tell us a little bit more. Just take us through not just the political, the economic, financial significance of Russia winning this bid.
The significance is going to be very large. This will unleash an infrastructure spending cycle, which I think it's likely to be the largest in the world and certainly largest relative to GDP, especially now that China is de-emphasizing infrastructure spending. The numbers are huge. Over the next 20 years, we estimate there'll be about 6 trillion. Over the next 5 years, about 500 billion. A lot of it would be spent on roads to start with. And as you said, the stadia, the sports facilities and so forth have to be built. The benefit of that would be that it will introduce, we think, something like 1.5% non-cyclical to GDP growth, which is a very welcome change from the dependency on oil and natural resources.
So huge numbers involved, as you say, massive challenges in terms of infrastructure. I suppose that means also risks and pitfalls.
Yeah, there will be. I'm sure the execution risks will be large. As you said, Russia is a huge country. There are large distances to be traversed, but the opportunities will be immense. We anticipate the creation of a huge value chain of new companies. Some of them are in their formation, and I think we will see some of the largest companies in Europe over that period being created from scratch.
Right, so take me through exactly who is going to benefit from this.
Well, let's just give an example for the roads, where initially the investment will start. Russia's got, I think, one of the worst roads in the world. In the world ranking is 111. And the Kremlin has not focused on road building, and this is about to start. There are some construction companies that specialize in that, and also in building bridges. They're fairly small. Some of them are listed. Their market cap is a few $1 billion. We anticipate them to be enormous and to spread not only in the central areas of Russia, but in the regions.
So they have some of the worst roads in the world. As you say, the Kremlin hasn't been focusing on infrastructure. They're now going to have to do it. They're also talking about a high-speed rail service being set up before the World Cup. But how realistic is it they're going to be able to get all these things off the ground, literally and figuratively?
Well, the Kremlin has demonstrated that if they put their mind to something, they actually get there. And if you look at the progress on the Sochi Olympics, the Winter Olympics, which is actually quite a complex project, and there's been quite a lot of skepticism and quite a lot of accusations of corruption and whatnot, you can see that that's actually progressing quite well, and I'm pretty sure it will be on time.